This is a test of the Boundary Park alert system.
Did it again. Hello and welcome to the Lassits Football Phone-In with me, Matt Dean, this evening. I am Billy Nomates tonight. Dave I think he's got a modelling job somewhere. He's busy, he's in demand, and he can't make it. And I feel a bit lost here on my own, to be honest, without him. So I need you to get in touch tonight. The link to call in is in the chat, and I've tweeted it, and I've put it on Facebook, and I've put it on Instagram, and I've put it on TikTok, so there's no excuses. John from Saddleworth is hopefully watching tonight. John, you're always saying that there's not enough callers, and I absolutely agree. There's not enough callers to the show, and there's nothing I can do about it apart from put the link out there and hope that people get in touch, because that's how it works. Buzzer says I'd have come on. He would have done, presumably, but he's not. I'll have to have a word with you when I see you at the weekend, young man. But yeah, it was a great start to the game. Brilliant start to the season with a great win against who do we play? Braintree. And I want to know how you feel about it. See, I've got this, it's not as much a theory, but I think people are more keen to get involved and pipe up when things are going wrong, when things are going bad, when they've got something to mourn about. Lassits fans tend to be in their absolute element when that is the case. And at the minute, at one game in, that there's not very much to mourn about. It's a beautiful summer's evening. So I guess, look, I don't blame people for being out in the pub, the beer garden, or being out for a nice walk or doing something else. But if you want the show to continue more than about 10 minutes, I am going to need some callers to talk to. Thankfully, I do have a couple waiting in the wings to talk to. But if you've never got in touch before, then give us a shout now. Just click the link. I'll paste it again into the chat so that you've got it there, either on Facebook or on YouTube, wherever you're watching, and give us a shout. So, Let's bring in the first caller. We've got Graham, who I know is usually up there in Scotland. Are you there currently, Graham?
Yep, I'm in Scotland.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. Just on a different topic before we talk about the Oldham, the athletics. I was disappointed for you in the Euros, to be honest with you. Joking aside,
that is
you
very rare to hear
Watkins
coming from a Scotsman, Graham. So
no, I watched
we'll
the whole
take
tournament.
that.
I watched the whole tournament. You looked fantastic. Bellingham, Foden, you looked amazing. At the end of the day, you should have played Watkins or Ivan Toney ahead of Harry Kane, who wasn't fit.
No, he wasn't, was he? It was disappointing. I thought. Obviously they didn't start the tournament very well, but they got to the final. Again, it was a bit of a. It's not. There's no such thing as an easy trek to the final. But if you'd been on the other side of the group, I'm not sure we'd have made it to the final. But being where we were, and it's just that thing. You know yourself, being a Scot, and the teams that you support, it sometimes can be really, really hard to get any proper joy out of football, can't it? Actually winning stuff, you know what I mean? It's and people who support big clubs, successful clubs, they really don't know what it's like in countries. And if you're blessed to support like Real Madrid and Spain, well, amazing. You get to enjoy this all the time. But for us, it's a struggle, isn't it?
You were unlucky, honestly. I watched the whole once we went out against Hungary because of that dodgy penalty we should have got. I watched the rest of the tournament. My mum's English; she's from Liverpool way, so
right.
Never had an issue with English. Oldham fan, but like I say, when I watched Kane playing that game, he was just off the pace so badly.
Yeah, he really was. And I think that's where Southgate lost his job over his loyalty. He was too loyal to some players, and he like when we spoke to Mickey Mellon on the podcast, first podcast of the season, he was talking about taking the emotion out of it and just having to do what's best for the team and what's best for the in his case for the country as well. I know Southgate's got a lot of loyalty, and players haven't, like Kane's never let him really let him down. But sometimes the manager has to. Players will play all the time, won't they? They'll play through with all kinds. Well, certain characters will anyway, and Harry Kane's one of those characters. And yeah, he should have put some of the other lads on and give them a go. But it is what it is. The way it continues to see if England can actually win anything. I would have fancied us for the World Cup in 2 years if we'd have won the Euros, but I think that winning would have made us a lot more confident and just take that monkey off the back. But now we didn't win it. I'm not so sure that we've got enough in the squad to win it. But we'll have to see.
You never know.
We don't know who the new manager is, do we? So
I would give it to Carsley.
I mean, yeah, these things are, we've had tried and tested managers and they haven't worked. And then we've had, someone like Southgate who was pretty new and not really, you wouldn't say was tried and tested, and he worked. So we've seen it with Latics, haven't we? It's a difficult thing. I think when it comes to picking the right manager or the right coach, it's very much, there's a lot of things that make it work or don't work. And I think whoever's coming in for England, and it's the same like whoever follows Mickey Mellon, whenever that may be.
Yeah,
the infrastructure and everything is a lot better now, and they've got a much better chance of doing well than before Southgate came in. So Southgate, I think, can be really proud. I'm disappointed for him personally because he seems like a really nice guy, and I think he deserved to have that moment of lifting a trophy. But you could argue that if he'd have been braver, he would have had it, and maybe that's on him. But it's unfortunate for him he never got to win anything, but at the end of the day, he had plenty of chances to do it, didn't he? And he just couldn't do it.
No, but going on to Oldham, I only have one criticism at the weekend. What's criticism, that? Alex Reid.
What about him?
He shouldn't be anywhere near the squad because he's not apologised from what we hear. Right, I don't know if he has or he hasn't, but it looks like he hasn't apologised. He still threw his toys at the pram. I'm not again. I know Norwood's out injured and I know Garner's out injured, but what's the point in playing him for one game, getting his hopes up, having another conflict with him? He goes and sits on the bench for another couple of months, and do you know what I mean? I'm not saying he didn't play well. I mean, Gardner had a good game. Hopefully, he stays fit. But
I don't know. I mean, when I spoke to Mickey Mellon, I asked him about Alex Reid. He said very clearly that it's not about having a conversation. It's not about sort of like apologising, yes or no, right or wrong. It's about his conduct and how he works and how he contributes. And if he's happy with that, then he'll be in with a chance. So we have to assume that whatever Reid's done, he's worked his way back into the reckoning. Because I don't think if Mellon thought that he wasn't up for it, and he wasn't ready, and he wasn't doing enough, I don't think for 1 minute he'd be in the team. I think Mellon is, when he says something, he means it. So I think Reid must be in there on merit.
I just don't want the squad to be destabilised again from one bad egg. I like Alex Reid on the podcast. He was nice enough. He was pleasant, but then I lost my faith in him over the shenanigan over Christmas.
Yeah, well, I mean, everybody makes mistakes, and people need another chance. I mean, he's not proven himself at Latics, and he may or may not get that opportunity. He like Dave said on the podcast at the weekend, when he came on, he offered something different. He got caught offside a few too many times for me, but he's quick and he's lively. So and he can finish. So
he can.
Beggars can't be choosers at the minute. I think that was the frustration last season when we needed strikers and he was there, but he wasn't. Mickey Mellon had decided, whatever it is, your attitude is not right, you're not playing. And that was that. So I think that sets the tone as well for the rest of the squad. That one person's in charge, and that's Mickey Mellon. So I think he is quite old school in that respect. But I think if you earn your chance, you'll get your chance. And I think footballers like that. I think they respect that and respond to it. So, he's said before he's got more eyes around the club now to keep, his standards up to where he expects them. And presumably now that means that people like Reid, who may get a bit distracted and a bit lose focus a little bit sometimes, have got more people around and just say, "Come on, keep you in line," and hopefully then we'll see the best of them. Because look, there's no doubt about it. all those players, they've got the talent. They've got talent. You don't get to play for a club. I was going to say you don't get to play for a club like Oldham Athletic without any talent. Some of our recent players would possibly counter that, but there's definitely a striker at this level in Alex Reid, and we need everyone scoring. I think that was what was really, really good about Saturday, Graham, is that we had a striker and a winger and a midfielder scoring goals.
Yeah.
We didn't have that very often last season, like 3 different goal scorers in the same game. That was a real boost, I think.
We barely scored 3 goals in the game.
That's true. Apart from the Aldershot game where we gave them a bit of a whooping, and the game at Rochdale where we scored 4. Yeah, there wasn't.
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not interrupting you.
Yeah. No, there wasn't goals all over. I think without Norwood, we would have really struggled. And Chris has said here, like, he looks fit and quick. He did, but then they all did. Like, they all look really, really fit and quick. You know, Dave was getting a bit excited about how fit they all looked on the podcast at the weekend. You know, they looked like a different outfit completely. I mean, I was. You know, last season's kickoff against Southend was so poor. It was none of what Saturday was. And that's why we were also disappointed in that Southend. You know, Unsworth had had the whole pre-season. He'd brought players in. We were expecting the team to look more like it did on Saturday. And like Mickey Mellon said, don't get carried away. It's one game. The team can play a lot better than that. But what a reassuring start to the season. It
was great. I mean, it was great to see the scorers. And it was great to see that youngster who got like his debut. Was his debut?
Charsley's debut. Yeah,
he looked really good. I mean, and Gardner looked good, but I'm hoping that should prove me wrong. I mean, I'm not against the guy. I just think his mannerisms just upset the balance of the squad last year. Do you know what I mean? We carry on, but I mean, I'm not saying that I want him to go. I mean, I just think he needs to like knuckle down. But if he's doing that and he's looking sharp in games, then who knows? I mean, I'm not sure there's anyone else in that squad that could have played that ball that Gardner played on Saturday. I only seen it on replays. I never actually saw the match because I was
stunning ball, absolutely first class.
It was amazing. It was like,
yeah, I mean, if that had happened in the Euros, you know, people would be going absolutely mad for it. It was inch perfect. You know, I don't know how many yards it was, but you'd have seen it on Lineker and Shearer going on about it and measuring Gary Neville on Sky Sports. It was fantastic.
We just need to keep them fit.
We do, but you don't rely on one player over a season. You rely on a squad, and I think that, you know, looking at what we've got now, there is more. There's more talent and ability in the likes of Charsley and Hammond and Conlon and Kay, who I've not seen yet.
I love Hammond. I mean, he looked so good last year, and hopefully he can push on and be better this year. I mean, because he's still young, he's got the potential to go further.
I was dead impressed with him and Charsley behind Fondop. I thought they did brilliantly. They did, and a lot of it was the ugly stuff as well. It was just putting their defenders under pressure, making space in midfield, not necessarily winning the ball. But then Charsley's goal was the perfect midfielder's goal, following in from deep at the edge of the area and just tapping it in. And that's what you need to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and I was listening to your podcast since you started, and I mean, I've been impressed. There's only one disagreement I had with your podcasts, and if his prediction comes right, we should drop Dave somewhere in Rochdale.
I don't think that. Look, the thing is with Dave's predictions, Dave's never right. I mean, it's hard to predict at the best of times. I'm never right either, but Dave's always way off. I'm going the same
as last year, 5th. I'm staying with my pick from last year, 5th place. I mean, getting the playoffs, just have a go. I mean, are we the finished article? Absolutely not. Could we do the playoffs? Absolutely. Will we finish down in 13th? Absolutely not.
No,
I think we've got the measure most of the teams in the league. The only team that worries me is Gateshead 5-0. That worries me because we've actually got quite a tough.
Yeah, we've actually got quite a tough opening set of fixtures because we play Gateshead quite early on, and I'm glad about that because that gives us a chance to show people what we're about and to pick up, you know, valuable points early doors. So I'm absolutely fine with that, with a tough run in. So yeah, so it's all good. Right, listen, thanks for the call, Graham. I'm going to move on to a bit because obviously if he's there as you would expect. But yeah, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Glad to see the beard's back fully there. You've really grown that back now, mate. It's looking good.
Well, and take care of yourself.
You what, mate?
Keep up the good work with the podcast. I enjoy listening to it.
Will do, mate. Cheers, Graham.
See you later, guys.
All the best. Right, so that was Graham. Thanks for getting in touch, Graham. If you've got something you would like to say, Ray is saying that everyone deserves a second chance. Alex Reid needs to make his football do talking and score some goals. He does. You know, he's going to make the most of it when he gets on the pitch. I know that's a ridiculously obvious statement, but he's not going to start every game. I think he's going to make more appearances off the bench, like he did against Kidderminster last season when he came on and scored. That's what we need, really. But I need more callers. I've got Ibby lined up, and I can chat to Ibby, but if you want the phone in to continue, you're going to have to get in touch for a chat, because I know I can chat, shit, but not too much on my own. Over and over again. So please, somebody give us a call. And in the meantime, I'll bring Ibby in. Hello, Ibby.
Hello, Martin. You all right?
Yes. Oldham Athletic, National League champions 2024-25. What do you think?
I think we can't get happy over one game, but I did tell you last week that we will win 3-0. I was absolutely spot on, Matt.
Okay, well, if you're in that good predicting form, can you please tell me that we're going to win on Saturday against Weasldstone, because I'm going down, so I'd really like us to take the points back.
I think we will win, because the players were up for it on Saturday, and honestly, everybody were outstanding. I was impressed with the guy who we signed from Rochdale. Jake came on, turned the game around, lovely crosses, and I was really chuffed with Bates on Saturday, if I'm honest with you.
Listen, you're not the only one, mate. It was the most enjoyable 90 minutes at Boundary Park that we've had for a long time as a fan. Being in, a nice warm day for starters, decent crowd, not a brilliant crowd, 5.5's not great for the opening game of the season, but the atmosphere was good. The football was good. It was. I mean, people will always be saying, well, it was just Braintree, we're probably going to finish down the bottom of the league. But we struggled, didn't we, so badly last season against poor teams that were down there, Ebbsfleets and Eastleys and Kidderminsters and things like that. We struggled against the teams that weren't doing well. We didn't look like a team that was going to struggle on Saturday, did we?
You're absolutely bang on correct. And I really hope we do add up another 2 players. I've been impressed with Eric Woods, who's on trial at the club. Honestly, there's something in that guy. I really hope we do gamble on him, but I'm not the manager. And I really hope they do sign Otis Khan, but apparently somebody has to leave before somebody comes in.
I think. Look, it's sometimes a manager says something and it sticks. With David Unsworth, it was fast, dynamic football for all the wrong reasons. With Mickey Mellon, it's I know what good looks like. And he, so far, with the signings that he's made, he's showing us that he does know what good looks like. There definitely has been an improvement. So I didn't really get involved in who was signing or look for any kind of, rumours and things like that over the summer. It was a case of the manager's going to get on with it. He's going to do his thing. He's going to bring players in, and I think he knows he wants to bring a couple more players in, and I think he'll bring what we need in, and he's definitely done that. Looking at that team on Saturday, there was a balance to it and a shape to it and a way of playing that wasn't there at all last season. And all right, it was only Braintree, but we did everything right for 90 minutes and won the game at a canter. And that was the most satisfying thing. Now, it's that, if we go away from home and we don't win, that's not the end of the world. If we pick up a draw, it's not the end of the world. Win your home games, draw your away games, it's not the end of the world. But to go down to Weasldstone on Saturday and pick up a win, now, and then you're talking first 2 games, and then you've got the quick turnaround, you've got Fylde on Tuesday. That can start getting people excited then if we start, picking up a good amount of points early doors and fill the team full of confidence. But you're right, what you said before, it's only 1 game, so we can't get carried away.
Yeah, Mark, there will be ups and downs, but I think it's going between Oldham and Southend for that title.
Yeah, Southend are definitely, I think, going to be definitely involved. I mean, we're going to have to get over some of these bogey teams, aren't we? That we've come up against, the teams that we've really struggled. And I think Weasldstone and Farden in the next two games are two of those teams that we've not got a great record against. So it's good to get these games out of the way. And we've got Aldershot and we've got Gateshead coming up. Gateshead are another massive bogey team for us. So these are really, really good games for us. When this fixture list came out, Ibi, we looked down the list. Not very exciting, is it? The types of teams that are in here, Braintree and these names, Weasldstone, Gateshead. They're not big clubs. They're not exciting fixtures, but we know how difficult they can be. We've really, really struggled, haven't we, against teams that we know we should be beating. Maybe this season is the season that is put to bed, and we actually start beating these teams on a more regular basis. And I think that'll make us all a lot more happy, don't you?
Yeah, Mark, you're absolutely bang on correct. I think we will be up there this season, and I believe that we will get out of this league. I've just got a good feeling about this season, Mark, honestly.
Is that something that's been with you like since before the season or since it kicked off on Saturday?
No, in the summer, when the Euros were on, I had a good think about Oldham, and I just left it to the manager, but he has made some cracking signings. We just need to get behind the player. And there's something different has been changed around the club, you can tell, over the summer. And I believe we will be up there, and I think he will get us out of this league. It will be done in an ugly way, but who cares, Matt?
Well, I mean, we played some good football on Saturday. I mean, it's not all going to be plain sailing. We're not always going to be playing on a pitch as magnificent as Boundary Park, and it's going to get cold. It's going to get wet. It's not going to be easy. But what really, really excited me about that team was not so much the skill and ability, but the grit and the physicality and the determination that wasn't there. And it wasn't just there in a few players. It was across the whole team. When Matt Hudson saved that penalty, he was absolutely buzzing. He was well up for it, and the whole team went to congratulate him. It looked for the first time like a team, like a proper team. And it's a proper team that's in its early stages still. So it is quite exciting. But at the same time, we're not the finished article yet. We're still developing. We're still bringing players in, and Mickey Mellon is still, putting his footprint on the football club. But I think that having now finally met him properly and spoke to him and had that conversation with him and with Darren as well, and just sort of seeing the two of them together, and I think Mellon is in control of what's happening, and I think that's really, really important because we've been crying out for this for, close to decades now, where we have stability at the top of the club, with the relationship, like Joe Royle always said, the most important relationship he had with the chairman, and I think at this club, it's about the manager and Darren Royle at the minute. That's the key. They're the key relationships. They're what going to make things happen. And for me, that relationship is becoming really strong and really solid. And
I hope Dave's okay, Matt.
Proper.
Is Dave okay,
Dave?
Matt? Yeah, sexy Dave.
Well, define okay. Define okay. Yeah, no, he's having to catch up with someone who's only in the country for one night tonight. So we gave him a pass, but yeah, he's fine. He's fine. I'll pass on your concerns. But yeah, he's okay, mate.
What do you make about this week's statement the club put out about the prices in the fan bar and all that? What do you make about it? Prices seems to be expensive, but
yeah, there is. They are trying to. It's some kind of negotiation that they're in at the minute with somebody. I'm not 100% sure what the details are, but the foundation have asked about it, and apparently it's just a temporary thing because it is really expensive for what you're getting at the minute. So hopefully that'll improve and the prices will come down. But
worries, Matt. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
No worries, mate. Thanks for getting in touch, mate.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Look after yourself, mate. Take care. Bye. Yeah, Saturday was definitely a much improved. We'll see fast, dynamic football. Saturday felt different. It was good to see fast, dynamic football. Yeah, and the pressing, it really was. I mean, that was where it all started for me. Was the wing backs pushing up high, and just Charsley and there was a front five pressing them back, and that made a world of difference. We just wouldn't let them play, and it's going to be interesting to see how we got on, particularly against Gateshead, because they are the best team in this division at passing the ball out from the back like that. So in the past two seasons, and we've let them have the run of the park, and there's no way we can let them do that anymore. So I'm looking forward to that game against Gateshead. Anyway, we do have another caller. Mr. Oldham is waiting. All right, mate.
Hi there. How you doing? Had a good summer?
Yeah. I've had a good summer. Yeah, it's been all right. Yeah, the weather's been rubbish, hasn't it? But it's been not had to worry about latics, and yeah, it's been good. How about you?
Yeah, not bad. I'm really looking forward to the Weasldstone. They've had the first game of the season. I get to go to two straight away at the start of the season. I think I can do two a month for a few months, and then there's a huge period where I can't get to any because they're all up north. There's a big tranche of matches up north, so it's take a while to get to them. I think I might get to about 15, 16 games this season now, which is not bad from where I'm located.
How many did you get to last season?
I managed 12 last year.
And how many wins?
Well, I only saw them lose one, which was a cup match at Newport.
Right.
So I think it was something like there was quite a few wins and quite a few draws, obviously.
Yeah.
So that was what part I was going to discuss there, was that I think I'm reasonably confident, not overly confident, because you can't be yet, it's too early in the season, but I like to look back at previous games against teams and see how we're doing overall. And my view is that, none of the teams last season really hammered us. And I don't think we need to make a huge improvement to be quite a bit more successful this year. And from what I can see, the squad has improved, and I just feel that, we should easily make the playoffs, really. Because I don't think we need a massive improvement. You look at the number of games we drawn, you just turn 5 or 6 of those draws into wins, gives you an extra 12 points. You're right up there, aren't you?
Last season, finishing where we did, we could have easily finished in the playoffs last season and not been good at all season. Just like you said, if we'd have just converted a few more of those draws into wins, we'd have been in the players thinking, how the hell did we get here? Because overall, the season was pretty poor.
Yeah. I mean, after that Maidenhead game, I just can't believe we didn't progress and stay in the playoffs quite easily after that Maidenhead game, because it was like that was a really good team. And then I think the next game after that, the next two games I thought I got to were Oxford City and Rochdale, and we just played dreadfully in those games. Just like you were like watching a completely different side in those two games from what we saw at Maidenhead. And you think, where's the drive gone? That's so you can imagine at the start of the season we're going to you've not got drive at the start of the season. When are you going to have it? So we just got to be careful that we don't get over confident and then that drive disappears again. Because that's what seemed to happen to me. The second half of last season, the drive just seemed to have gone out of the players and just didn't seem to be pushing as hard as you would expect them to. So it was
a question of character, I think, last season. I think because we bottled some really, really big occasions. The Kidderminster game at home where we lost 1-0 was really, really poor. Full house, it was a really great. Frank had come back from his Atlantic expedition and all that, and the players didn't look like they could handle, or that particular team couldn't handle it. And then on Saturday, which is a big occasion, first home game of the season, new squad, they didn't look intimidated, they didn't look overawed, and nor should they have been. They were playing at home against the newly promoted side, and they looked unfazed by it. So I think whoever was there last season and still involved has learned from that. And then the players that we've added have been added for that reason, that they're not going to be overwhelmed by it. They've got the character, and some of those debuts were just magnificent on Saturday. So it's a different mindset. There's definitely more Mickey Mellon in them now, I think, than there was last season, 100%.
Yeah, I get a feeling the squad really benefited from that trip to St Andrews, and the sort of bits of social media and club announcements I've seen all seem to be suggesting there's a much better team spirit, if you like. It looks like the players are wanting to be playing for each other. Look like they want to play for us. Makes a big difference.
It takes time to build a team. It's not, and this is not just about football. This is about anything. You know, there's a lot of people, a lot of personalities, a lot of different characters that make up a football club. You know, there's all the backroom staff, there's all the management, there's the board, there's the players, there's their families, there's a lot. You know, when you add it all together, it's a lot of people, and all that has to be in sync for it to really, really work. You know, and the clubs that are successful spend a lot of time making everything work and bringing everything up to a standard that they expect, and making sure everyone meets that standard. And that process at Latics is happening, but that level of professionalism is throughout the club now. It's starting to permeate. You know, the people that run Manchester Cabins and made Manchester Cabins such a successful business have had standards and have built a team over years to get to that point. You know, James is saying about also spend a lot of money. You need to spend money, but you need to spend money the right way. You know, spending money is not a guarantee of success. You can easily waste money. You can easily spend it on all the wrong things until you've got none left. So that it's not an immediate fix. If we got out of this division this season from where we were when we started in this division, 3 seasons would be a brilliant turnaround. It would be a really, really good turnaround. So I'd be delighted if we get out this season. There's absolutely no guarantees that we're good enough to do that yet. We haven't seen enough of us play, but the early signs are good. So being able to see what's happening and how standards are lifting, how we're getting closer towards that team being a proper team, it's just chalk and cheese from the footballers and the quality of the football, and because good teams, the teams that are successful, are consistent. You don't always have to be brilliant, but you have to be consistent.
Yeah, and that's what we've still got to establish yet, isn't it?
Exactly.
We've got to get that. These next 8 games are really interesting, I think. Looking forward to the Weasldstone game. I was there last year when they drew 1-1. It was a pretty drab affair. But again, we've got to go into that game with some degree of confidence that we'll come away with the points.
I mean, Mickey Mellon said about arrogance. He used the word arrogance, and you've got to have that. There's a fine line between overconfidence and arrogance, and the right kind of arrogance. But you know, that belief that you are going to turn a team over, you are going to win the league, you are going to beat them, even if you're losing 2-1 with with a minute to go. That belief, that arrogance, that we're not going to lose this game, we're going to get that equaliser. You know, that's the mindset.
And we should be confident in most games. If you look at our record against Barnet, was it 1-3 and drawn 1? Was it 1-3 and lost 1? I can't remember. But you know, we have the league favourites in many people's eyes, and we've dispatched them quite comfortably a few times we've played them. And so there's nobody in the league really that we should be worried about unduly. We just have to be more consistent than them.
Yeah,
100%. As the results showed on Saturday, because none of the favourites did did fantastic, did they? Apart from Gateshead. So I think we can see over the next 8 games. I think we'll have a really good idea as to where we're going.
I think in terms of confidence for Latics, I think a good start will give us really, really a foundation to build on. Like Chesterfield went off to a flyer last season, and they got so many points in the bag that when they went on a bit of a bad run, it didn't make any difference. And that happened to them the season before as well, when they did the same thing. Like, points in the bag are absolutely priceless.
I think if we can get 8 points from 5 games coming up, then I think that would be a pretty good sign, because we only got 2 again in those 5 games last year.
Yeah.
So moving it up to 8 points, that's, would we be 6 points more? And I think that's doable.
We've got to make sure that we're beating all those teams that we should be beating, i.e. the teams that are going to be down and around the bottom of the table who aren't that good, especially at home. and then not losing to the likes of Gateshead, Southend, and the other teams that are going to be up there, and because then they get away from us. So, look, I mean, in a world where we can't keep pace with Gateshead, I mean, look at Gateshead. They're playing that big sports arena. They have about less than 1,000 fans go and watch them every week, and yet they're probably the best footballing team in the division. It's very, very weird.
But they haven't had outstanding results against us, have they? I mean,
No.
we had two. Can't remember without looking back in my notes, but I don't think they've had outstanding results against us.
No. Well, we've let them play. That's the thing. We've just let them dictate games, and based on what I saw on Saturday with the high press and the confidence that Mellon's got of his back three, I don't think that's going to happen. So I think we've got a much better chance of beating Gateshead this season than we have done over the last couple of seasons. But yeah, look, I mean, I can't change my prediction after one game. I went for 5th. I got that little feeling inside me that we might just be up there in the top 3 throughout the season. If the team is as good as we hope it is off that performance. But what we're getting a lot of at the minute is this kind of like these endorphins being released and like hope and like good feelings, We
need to assess how much other teams have improved as well. Because
true,
it's not just about our team. It seems like York City there's some good teams around. I think that we just need to see how they handle it and how consistent they can be.
Yeah.
Some of these teams are probably on their day, on a par with us. Doesn't mean they could beat us, but they could easily take points off us. But it's how consistent they can all be. It should be interesting, and it should favour the clubs with the bigger squads as well this year.
If we can get to that point where we're not anywhere near where Wrexham were when Wrexham went up, because they'd invested a lot more money. They were further down the journey, if you like. They were selling out the ground, and when we went there, it was intimidating. It was like they were a good side. The team and the fans were full of confidence and full of noise and aggression and all that. And it was, we were put in our place a couple of times down there. Having said that, what we need at Boundary Park is some of that. We need, if Boundary Park should be the most intimidating place to come in this division. It's the biggest stadium in the division. We can get it. We can get fans believing and the players believing, and get double the crowd that we had in there on Saturday for these big games. Then hopefully, we'll be a bit more like Wrexham were, and that momentum will keep us at the top of the table.
So let's assume we get Kay, Norwood, and Garner back fully fit again fairly quickly. Who makes way for them? How do you adjust the side that we've got?
Well, I mean, I think that the side that we have now has got to prove itself over the next few games, hasn't it? I think that's the key. I mean, one game against Braintree doesn't make it, set in stone. So Saturday's a big game. I'm really looking forward to going down and seeing how we play now against Weasldstone.
I might see you there. We're going to ourselves. I'm going to the Battle of Britain bunker before the game,
right?
Which is about 4 miles away from Weasldstone's ground, which apparently is a very interesting place to visit, and it's got Spitfire in there. So I like to do something before every game, and then if the game's rubbish, at least I've done something.
Made a bit of a day of it, yeah.
That should
So I think healthy competition for places is absolutely essential when it comes to having a good season in it.
We haven't really had a chance to see much of Kay, have we? But
we've had a dropout.
Yeah.
No,
you got anybody else lined up? I'll leave it there for someone else to come on.
Yeah, someone was just popping up there and maybe coming back. I'll give them a minute. But yeah, I think so. What's your prediction for Saturday then?
Saturday, I'll be hoping for 2-0 or 3-1. I think what I think we should be aiming for.
I think that's the thing. I don't think we're going to concede a lot of goals, are we? Based, if we can keep that defensive line fit.
Yeah. I know Weasldstone beat us in the last game of the season last year, but I don't think the Oldham players' hearts was in it by then. I just felt they were disappointed. And down at their place, yeah, I thought it was just a sort of a nothing sort of game, really. I thought we did, yeah, I think we can do better. So that's why I'm going for 2 or 3-1.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell as long as we come.
I'm still a bit concerned about where the goals are coming from. Yeah, we got 3, so that's good. And what I did like about Jez was his first touch, his control of the ball in the first touch. Number of times it came over his shoulder, and he just instantly killed the ball to play.
Yeah.
That is a great skill. I've seen many older players where it comes at them like that, and it just bounces off and goes anywhere. But he got the ball control pretty quick, so that's a pretty good.
Yeah, there was a big round of applause for one of these touches in particular that he did. That came over his shoulder, he just killed it, and the crowd were impressed because, like you say, we've seen it pinging off people going left, right, and centre, haven't we? So it was really nice to see.
Yeah,
right, we've got Michael waiting in the touch lines now to bring him. So we'll bring him in. So thanks for calling, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Yeah, cheers and bye.
All the best, mate. Bye. Hey, up.
All right, Matt.
How are you?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I almost didn't recognise you. You not got your onesie on.
No, I've not got that anymore.
Yeah. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
How are you feeling about the Latics then? What's your gut telling you about this season?
I'm still on a high, but I'm not going to be too thingy until we're about 6 or 7 games in, and then I'm gonna look at it from that sort of view.
Did you go on Saturday?
Yeah, I went on Saturday.
What?
It was good. Obviously, it was good, but because obviously I thought there was going to come out a bit more thingy Braintree, but they didn't. It looked like there was a bit shy, if you know what I mean. But I don't know if we played good because there was a bad team, or we played good because of how we've been training through pre-season. But I guess that'll show within the next few games.
Yeah, definitely. The way I get that point, because they weren't great. I mean, they didn't do much. But I don't think we let them play, and we certainly played teams as bad as that last season and made them look good. And so that's the way I'm sort of looking at it. I'm looking at last season and thinking we struggled against poor sides that we should have beaten, and we just didn't let them get into the game at any point on Saturday. Yeah. So that was really encouraging.
Yeah. It's that I think we've always struggled against rubbish teams and then played good against good teams, but maybe it might change.
I think that's the mindset thing, isn't it? It's just this kind of like the attitude of some players that because they don't fancy the opposition and they think they're not very good, that they don't have to play like winners and like champions. And I think this team has to play like champions every game. It has to go into that game. We're going to win this game. We have to win this game, because if we don't win this game, we might not win the league, and we want to win the league. Every single game, every single minute on that pitch is important. And from, it's impossible to tell too much from one game, but that seemed to be the attitude of the players. They seemed up for it. They seemed like they wanted to be they wanted to be winners. Like they were going to win that game. And there was a lot of determination and aggression on the pitch, and I really enjoyed seeing that for a change.
Yeah, it was. To be fair, our captain, when players were coming on and off, always behind them, like getting them up for it, sort of thing. You could see. I think who come on? I can't remember who come on. I think it was Kitchen or Reed, and he went over to him and like got him hyped up, sort of thing. And it just shows like little things matter in a team.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it's early days, but there's a lot more hope when you've won the first game 3-0 and you've got people coming on for their debuts and they actually look like good footballers than where we were at last season. This time last season, God, we were so depressed, weren't we, after that Southend game? Very
depressed.
Yeah, but it's weird. It's like on Saturday on Sunday when we were recording the podcast. It was like, well, what do we say? And I feel we won the game 3-0, which has been a great start to the season. You know, it's
Yeah.
easier to mourn. There's more energy behind it. Then when things are good, it's like, yeah, great, okay, happy days.
Yeah.
It was harder to fill the hour, really, being positive than it would have been being negative.
Yeah, true. But everyone's always a bit more down when it's negative, and when it's
Yeah.
positive, no one's got to do anything. But yeah,
Well, I think if by the end of the season, if we're still up there in the top 2 or 3, and we've had a good
Yeah.
season, I think people will enjoy talking about that and you know, get a ride on that positivity, because it'll be rare. we won't have experienced it before.
hopefully we
Yeah,
go
yeah.
up and then get to see promotion. But no, ever since I've been born, I've not seen one yet. So
I know.
maybe this year might be the one.
We've been kind of overdoing the pitch invasions, haven't we, at Latics, I think, and we've had a few
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons. It would be nice if there were scenes like in 1991 where, you know, we win a league and people invade the pitch for the right reasons. Not condoning raising. I'm not condoning pitch invasions, but you know,
no.
if we do win the
Yeah.
league, I would be very surprised if that didn't happen. But yeah, I'd love it. I'd love it for young fans like yourself, and I'd love it for us old timers and all who've been hanging around waiting for something for such a long time.
Yeah.
So, give us your prediction for Saturday then, while I sneeze.
I'm gonna say 2-0, going for a clean sheet.
And who do you fancy to score?
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Jez.
The winger.
No, I've been lazy and not learned his surname yet. I'll say it, so I've been calling him Jez.
And I reckon Gardner will sneak one in as well.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah. Yes.
And it'll be a great goal if Gardner scores it, and I'll probably smashed him for edge area.
Yes.
Lovely.
Very
Well,
good
let's
goal.
hope you're right, mate. Right, we'll chat to Jack.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling, Michael.
Yeah.
Take care,
See you in a
mate.
bit.
Bye. Yo, Jack.
You all right?
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm all right. Yourself?
Very well, thank you. Nice to see
That's
you in
good.
the new season.
Thank you. Nice to see you as well.
Are you buzzing after day one or what?
Yeah, I didn't expect a 3-0 win, but I expected a win. But obviously, we played off the park. Gardner, Conlon on that Hobson, that little triangle move, then the ball across. Last year, I didn't even want to have the ball for more than 10 seconds, and now we're enjoying the possession.
Yeah, it looked like a team that had been on the training ground, didn't it, over summer, like working on stuff. Compared to last season, when they didn't look like they knew how to string 2 passes together, they actually looked like they were the things they'd been doing on the training ground were actually coming off on the pitch.
Yeah, the players actually wanted to get the ball and wanted to move forward with it and find the right passes, and not just hoof it over the top and hope for the best.
Even when a couple of times there were balls like that, but you could see what they were trying.
Yeah.
And I think as a fan and as players and coaching stuff, it's not always going to come off, is it? But if you can see that what the effort was and it just didn't quite work out, then it's okay. When it's just pumped aimlessly and you're just thinking, well, what was that? Where was that supposed to go? It drives fans mad. But you could see, especially with having those outlets on each wing.
Yeah.
If Braintree did ever push on and actually get us back a little bit, we had options to break away really quickly.
Yeah, the wingers really help, and obviously, as you can see, our goal at the right back, when we're putting crosses in from the left side, he was always on the back post, like he's always there. And he's another option, like the long throw in, dangerous, like that led to a goal.
Definitely, it was like we had a tool belt on that we didn't have last season, where we could pull out these different tools like Jezzy's pace and his first touch, Ogle's long throws and those headers in off the side, and defenders bringing the ball out from the back, pushing and pressing higher up the pitch. We had all these different tools that we just didn't have at our disposal last season.
Yeah, I totally agree, because last year it was always about finding the strikers, and now it's about, he can make a run, and that could be a goal. And all the different, like you say, it's like what's it called? Like a weapons basket. You got all different things to throw at people, and they don't know what to expect this year.
Definitely. Like a. Let's keep going with these metaphors. Or are they similes? But like a boxer, with loads of different punches that you can pull out of the bag. You need it. And I think this is where it's going to be interesting to see when we come up against different types of teams who play different ways, how we adjust and how we're able to be flexible and adapt.
I think Braintree, like Melon said, they'll be a good side because them two big strikers, they'll cause damage. But obviously, we've got a tall back three, and they deal with it really well.
I mean, I was watching down when we were down at Rochdale Road, and they had corners and things like that, and the physicality of those lads, but also of our lads as well. You know, those three centre halves of ours, they're not going to get pushed around very easily, and there's been times in this division when I've looked at some of the opposition sides, you know, and think about Bromley, how big some of their lads were, Boreham Wood, for example, and we couldn't compete with them on a physical level. But now we've got big lads, and it doesn't always have to be about size. It's not just about size. It's about determination and aggression. And I thought that Hammond and Charsley aren't the biggest lads, but they were really getting stuck in. Conlon's not the biggest lad, but he was really getting stuck in, and that's what matters. That aggression across the pitch. I remember when we lost 3-0 at Bromley in the first time, not the second time. What was he called? Wellens, that young Wellens lad, getting absolutely bullied, you know, off Bromley. And he just looked like a fish out of water. He looked like a boy playing in a man's league, and it was embarrassing really for him and for Latics. And now we're not in that position. Now we've got lads who are going to scrap and battle and be aggressive.
Yeah, that's what you want, don't you? You want people to be afraid of going forward. You've got that ability to push teams off and not get bullied by other opponents.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's why some of the poorer teams in the division last season beat us, because they were just more hungry and more aggressive and did everything, all the things that we didn't do. They chased us down, tackled us, put us under pressure, you know, won the 50-50s and all that. And it's like Dave said at the weekend, when Ogle went in straight away in the first few minutes with that big tackle, you knew what he was about. Fans loved that.
To be fair, when he was at Scunthorpe last year, I'm surprised no one snapped him up then, because it's such a low level. And obviously, he made the right move coming to us.
Well, he wanted to come to Oldham, didn't he? He wanted to wait until it was possible to come to Latics, and I don't blame him at all. Come and play for a proper club, with proper fans.
I think that Caprice did really well as well when he had a little stint.
Yeah, I think it's good that he can play both sides as well. He can play on the left. I think Mark Kitchen needed that competition. He had it far too easy, didn't he? He was just a first name on the sheet because there was no one else to play left back or left wing back. But now he's got some competition. So
hopefully he can fight and obviously prove everyone wrong that he's at left back. He can start every week for us.
Yeah, we need competition. They all want to be like trying to impress the manager during the week at training and making the most of it when they get on the pitch at the weekend. So we've not had it. We've not had anywhere near enough competition for places for years now. I mean, when we talk about this, we're looking back over years now, and we've some clubs get spoiled. We're the opposite. What's the opposite of being spoiled? Being starved, or just having to put up with stuff. And I think that the attendance on Saturday was a reflection of that. 5,500 for the National League is a good crowd, but we know that we could have had an extra 2,000 or 3,000 on that gate. And I think people were struggling, haven't they, with the quality of the football, and I guess I can understand it really, but there are other things to do and other things to spend your money on, especially in the summer. But what do you reckon at the weekend? Are we going to go down to Weasldstone and take all 3 points, or what?
Yeah, of course. I think if we play the exact same, we'll play off the park again. But also on Saturday, I thought it was much more than 5,500. But also, that's all. Obviously, some stands. But it's good to win your first game because it encourages more people to come. And if they watch the game and read about it, they know that we're not the same Oldham as last season so far. But I don't want to make any judgments so early. So yeah.
No, but I think for me, I'd love us to win on Saturday, and I'd love to go into that final game. And I think if we could win the first 3 games, that would be a serious statement. And I think the fans would be well on board for that, and they'll start coming back.
That final game, I'm not looking forward to it. I went to both final games last year, and
I know they weren't pleasant, were they?
No, but we've signed one of the best players, so hopefully we see a different Oldham on a worse field. Hopefully.
It's only filed though. Come on, we're Oldham, aren't we? We'll give them what we should have given them last season. I think that's the thing. We need to go through some of these teams and say, right, this is the treatment you should have had a couple of years ago, Fordham Athletic, but we weren't good enough, and now we're back. And that can't be having this. What do you reckon about this? The gate on Saturday was probably impacted by the Charity Shield and ITV. United and City? Surely not. Surely not. Well, who knows? But anyway, well, we'll see. I think Oldham winning games equals bigger crowds, and let's start on Saturday. Right, mate. Good to talk to you.
No worries. I'll probably see you next week.
All right. I'll keep my eye out for you.
No worries. Have a
Take
great
care,
week.
mate. You too, Jack. Thanks for calling, mate. Right, well, that wasn't too bad. We're coming up to the hour point now. We've Declan here saying, "Get Ibby on." You've missed Ibby. He's been and gone, mate. He was in there early on. Talking about the attendances, the August, and I think that is true. There are people on holiday and things like that, but I still think that it was a fairly low opening day attendance. But I'm not bothered about that. I would just hope that at the end of the season, there's an absolutely packed full house as Latics lift the trophy. And well done, I'll take that. Well done on my own today. See, it's not so easy without Dave. I don't want to get all mushy, but kind of miss him, the big Egypt. Right. Thanks very much for watching. The podcast will be out on Monday morning from 5 a.m. So make sure you listen to that, and hopefully we'll have another win to discuss. Thanks for watching the Latics Football Phone-In, and I'll see you next week. Bye. The Latics Football Phone-In is a QPod production for We Are Oldham, dedicated fan media. If you'd like to know more about QPod, visit kupod.co.uk.